Namaste, angels. This is this week's love reading through Saturday, May 9th, and this is take 3. Thanks again to all of you who've been doing all of the wonderful things that you do to support me. Not only watching the videos, liking, sharing the videos, and all of that, which is awesome, and subscribing, but many of you have checked on me, especially with what was going on all weekend with the videos and trying to get them up and posting them and having them be silent and all kind of foolishness that was happening. So those of you who checked, or when I was sort of MIA, to those of you that are closest to me, you didn't, I wasn't on Facebook and all that kind of stuff, and you checked. Thank you again for the donations of any and all sizes, whatever you sent me. I appreciate it. Just all of that, and I hope you guys are remaining, safe and protected and healthy and just well. All right, you and your families. So let's get straight to this. Again, take 3. We're starting with Forget It, Dirty Movie, and Spend Money. So it really is so far the same dice messages as it has been. Yep, it is. Still spend money. And as I mentioned in the general reading, this is about the universe reminding you that you have the ability to manifest. So it's don't be worried about doing the things you need to do for yourself and your family with your money or your mate, go ahead and do that because you can make more. The government's currently printing money, and divine beings have the ability basically of printing money too, because we attract it to us. So from wherever it comes, all of a sudden we have it. Just like the donations I received. Again, thank you again. Weekend away. That just may mean taking a break from whatever, from anything. Doesn't necessarily mean you traveled. It could be a weekend away from this, away from that, stress-free or, and it's 50-50. So this is about balance, partnership, give and take, the need for love to be able to pass both ways, equality, equity, the ability to both give and receive. Super, super important. So far the cards look like they're going to be different, with the exception of the fact that we're beginning with the 8 of fire. So all these 8s have been popping up, right? 8s, 3s. And I had talked about the fact that they would, or at least the 3s, prior to even starting the general reading. I said, I'm getting this thing about 3s. And then sure enough, they did show up, but 8s joined them. So this is the 8 of fire, the 8 of wands. Awesome card. It's never negative for me. All about what's going on behind the scenes, the planets working on our behalf, the universe working on our behalf, God working on our behalf to fix stuff. Even if it looks like right in front of us or in our environment, right, our own little personal island, that nothing's happening and we're becoming, paranoid, anxious, just confused, upset, because it looks like nothing's happening. We're not having any progress. There's stuff going on behind the scenes. This is also a card of communication. Communication, a big theme this week. Why? Because the communication sign, or the great communicator of the zodiac, enters the true node, the north node. And its mirror opposite sign, Sagittarius, which this could be what this is about, how the wands got here, and their planet Jupiter. That's a red or fire sign. It enters the south node, right? So Aquarius becomes, not Aquarius, that's my south node, personally. Sagittarius becomes the south node, and Gemini becomes the true north node this week. Tomorrow, as a matter of fact, Cinco de Mayo. So we have that. Also upright right behind it, this is another repeat, is the Page of Water, who's intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase, and you have heightened psychic abilities. The Page of Water might be a Scorpio. We got a lot of Scorpio stuff happening this week too. The full moon is probably the biggest thing that people will make note of. The full moon in Scorpio on the 7th. But last week, Pluto, Scorpio's ruler, or one of Scorpio's rulers, with the other being Mars, entered retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, where it had already been located. It's been located there for a while, actually, probably a few years. As a matter of fact, I think when I did the general last week, I read about how long it had been there, and it's more than a few years. It was like a really long time, and it's going to be there through 2021, if I remember correctly. But check out the general if you want to, clarify that, because I had the information in front of me at the time when I recorded that. So this could be why the page of water is showing up. Could be a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or someone like into those traits or attributes. In the last reading that I did, because they've both been really, really awesome. It sucks that I couldn't share them with you, or that I did share them with you and they were silent. But again, like a lot of repeat messages in both. But in the last one, I had the page of cups, page of water, show up next to Temperance. And I had already been getting a feeling about like a younger, probably younger man to a female, or to an older man, more so than a younger woman. Nobody even really frowns upon that too much, whether it's woman on woman or woman on man. But younger men, people do look at you away, right? But it was next to Temperance, and so that was one of the things that like told me, oh, some couples who had been having difficulty getting together because of the age difference, like that's going to change this week. You'll figure out a way to deal with those differences, or to say like, who cares with who doesn't agree with it? We're adults, we're legal, and we can do whatever we want. So there's that. The next card is the Ace of Earth. It's in reverse, but I'm just going to mention it because this one has shown up in every single reading as well. The inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, and important documents or contracts. There's been a lot of Earth sign energy, and that too makes sense to me because, as I mentioned, Pluto's in Capricorn. I think Jupiter may be there also. Jupiter, Sagittarius is ruler. So there's a lot of intense Capricorn energy, but then also the sun is in Taurus right now, currently. Happy birthday to all the Taurians out there, because the sun is in Taurus. And Mercury, who's Gemini's ruler, one of Gemini's rulers, with the other being Venus, shared with Taurus and in Libra, is, again, because Gemini's entering the true node, that involves Mercury, our ruler, as well. And Mercury is also the ruler of the sign of Virgo. So all three earth signs sort of like activated right now, and will be for a time. Okay, so with the Ascendant Masters deck, we'll begin with mother, wife, sister, daughter. This is actually a new one. This did not show up in any of the other readings. And this is a card that says that there is a female or feminine entity, energy. Could be our own inner feminine, because we all have a masculine and feminine, right? All souls are androgynous. So they both have, they all have both masculine and feminine. So it could be our own inner feminine, and maybe we need balance. We have a relationship to heal with ourselves, or there is another feminine archetype, but likely also female, not just feminine, with whom we have some sort of relationship that needs healing. And we'll get to do that this week. And in the general, I talked about that a lot. I think I even entitled it something like, deading old beef. And I said that it could be with a family member, siblings, parents, children, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, the other parent of your child or children, any and everybody, that was co-workers with whom we had some sort of old situation like this. With the Scorpio full moon, we're just deciding. Full moons are about endings anyway, right? And then Scorpio is about endings. It's about death. It's about transformation and change, growth, expansion, right? So it's like with this full moon, all of those things will be coming together and be intensified. So I had felt and talked about, again, prior to even doing the cards in the general reading, and then we were able to see it in the cards when I finally did, the fact that with the Scorpio full moon, there's going to be such change and endings and realizations about what's important in life, and the fact that holding grudges isn't, and spending time just holding on to negative energy or perpetuating negative energy isn't worth it, isn't conducive to our growth. And so those are the kinds of things that will come to an end. And of course they can affect your love or romantic lives as well. With my Keepers of the Light Oracle, we're beginning with, speaking of manifestation and the ability to make more money if we need to, it is Isis and magic manifesting. So she's verifying that. This is also a Gemini energy coming through. So probably connected to that Gemini transit that occurs tomorrow. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. So with that, I'm going to go right into the spread from the masculine perspective. We'll mix the cards up a little bit more again first in front of you guys. Keeping in mind the initial messages that we already got from them. The Eight of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, the Page of Cups. And we see what else they have to tell us. There's no rhyme or reason to this. I just mixing them up. I've already shuffled prior to starting the video and cut into 6. I like to cut into 6 normally. And then since it's just so many cards and it's so cumbersome to shuffle, in front of you guys, I've been just cutting like 50 times. So they get mixed up some more. Okay. Still in the same element. Fire, wands. Now the 6 of fire. So this is all about victory, promotion, being raised up, ascension, success. In the Rider-Waite, it really reminds me of like Jesus entering Jerusalem, and we're still in that period too, of Easter, the 50 days following Easter, leading up to the Pentecost. We're still in that period as well. So that could be like translating to us too. A very successful time, a return maybe to our former selves in terms of restoration and recovery, making a comeback. You know, some of us were down, we were never out, and then like now we're coming back. In some states and countries are opening. You can go back outside, you can get back to your life to an extent and all that kind of stuff, and maybe to your love life as well. So this is that. Very nice overall energy to have. And the first card here was representative of the divine feminine, our higher self to us. What is the message? 7 of Winter. Caution will help you to avoid the loss of valuables, including non-material resources such as time or peace of mind. So this is what I was talking about. Like, stop. We're not going to, especially with the full moon in Scorpio, I feel we're going to stop wasting our time and giving it to negative energy, right? So being cautious about that and taking the time out to think about that, to do some introspection and decide, you know what, I don't have any more energy to give to this, will save you from the loss of valuables, like your own peace of mind. Be aware of the results of your actions, like keeping up with bullshit and drama, as opposed to, deciding that you're not going to do that anymore, as well as what others might be doing behind your back. Because this could also be a card that is connected to like the 5 of Swords, the 9 of Swords. They usually all come out together. Like you see one, another one pops up that is connected. 7 of Winter or Swords, also about loss and thievery. Somebody, sometimes you may have lost something because somebody actually took it from you. And I summarized it by calling it the card that represents the energy of joy stealing. Right? That's what was stolen from you, or that's what was lost from you. Your joy when this card shows up. We can steal our own joy. And we can steal our own joy by lacking confidence, lacking esteem, being afraid to take a risk on ourselves, a chance on ourselves, and to push forward. So be careful of that as well. 7 of Winter can also be about a return of somebody to your life in my readings as well. In relationships, another thing that can be about is distrust. Whether you distrust yourself, like some people say, I'm no good at relationships. I'm no good at commitment. I'm no good at whatever it is, right? They don't trust themselves. Or if they could be distrust with your partner. If that's the case, communicate with them. If it's the case with you, right, that you distrust yourself, communicate with yourself too. Again, there's room for introspection and that Virgo energy of the Hermit. The masculine as it relates to the feminine this week in terms of love. 10 of Spring, 10 of Wands. You're working far too hard. This means he needs balance. He needs to be social. He needs to share the load, like lay down his burdens. If he's been holding stuff in, been pent up, not opening up, it's time to put down all of that. You're working far too hard and the stress will soon become too much. Reach out for help from others and take some time to play and to enjoy life. Even if that means just talking to each other, maybe online or something, if that's the most you can do. It's like taking the opportunity to be social The masculine as it relates to himself in terms of love this week, it is another Page of Cups. And yeah, that's where it showed up in the reading that I did yesterday too. It was on the masculine side, the Page of Cups showed up. And that was another reason why I said, like, I felt like it was a younger male and an older, again, male or female with whom he was dealing romantically. Let's see if that message comes back. The Page of Cups. Sensitive, kind, open-hearted, and inexperienced. You can expect to kindle a new romantic relationship or a close platonic friendship. You may suddenly receive an emotional message from someone or be invited to a social event. So it already ties in very nicely with these two cards. This can be about returning to a relationship, restoring a relationship, rekindling a relationship, or being social, taking the time to reach out to somebody or accepting a message from somebody if they reach out to you. It's about putting a smile on your face or another's face. The masculine as it relates to the union or connection as a whole this week in terms of love. And boom. Yeah, these are repeat messages. It is the 10 of summer, the 10 of cups. It's time to express your love. What I say here about the communication. Okay, this is confirmation. Time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives or chosen family of close friends, which of course includes our romantic interests and partners. Congratulations may be in order on a happy family, fulfilling marriage, and something like raising happy and balanced children. All right, we can pat ourselves in the back for that. Overall, Queen of Winter. I think she was Queen of Swords. I think she was the heart of the matter in the general reading. This is also a repeat card that's shown up in every single reading that I've tried to do this weekend for the love reading. The Queen of Winter, or Swords, is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, and she's a great communicator, particularly if she's a Gemini, right? So use this energy in order to communicate what you have to. Also, she's really awesome at ridding herself of things that don't serve her, including her own negative emotions and negative energy, and like holding on to grudges and ego and pride and all of these things. We're just realizing, a lot of us, given what's gone on in the world, that like life is too short. But you know what? I always say, and I've said this, I'm like ahead of my time. I really am, like an old person. Anyway, I've said this since I was pretty young, actually, that life is both too short and too long to spend doing stuff that doesn't make you happy, and just really becoming truer than it ever has been, to me right now. In any case, the Queen of Swords is experienced, self-sufficient, brilliant, and funny. All of your life experiences have prepared you for this moment of truth. It's time to declutter your home, to clear away situations that aren't working for you anymore, and to disengage from people who create more drama than happiness. What the masculine would have the feminine, what kind of energy the masculine would have the feminine give to the union or connection this week. And it is Major Arcana card 9, the Hermit. Like, go within, do some introspection, figure out what you want. I got to do the same thing. The Hermit most directly represents the sign of Virgo. So again, they could be a Virgo or earth sign that's particularly significant, similar to how they could be an air sign, or maybe specifically a Gemini that's particularly significant, or a water sign, very likely male and or masculine, that is younger, that is particularly significant. Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. What energy the masculine himself is prepared to give toward the union of connection this week. And this is, again, whether you're single, you never met before, you're coupled, you're married, you're on and off, whatever the situation. Okay, the energy still remains regardless. And it is 3 of Winter. So dealing with like old pain. Sadness is part of life, but you don't have to endure it alone. You may need a little time to heal, but once you work your way through the emotions, you'll be stronger than before. And this is also one of the 3s. So some of them not only dealing with pain, but maybe pain connected to some sort of party of three, possibly even a love triangle. Could be bringing that to an end, because why? It's time to look at the card that's right above him. Time to instead express love and emotion rather than, drama and nastiness. But like I was saying about the Seven of Winter, when it shows up, or Seven of Swords, usually the Three of Swords is also there, or the Five of Swords, the Nine. So you see another one of the funky swords cards, at least one, when one comes out. Mark my words. Like, pay attention, like, moving forward, when one comes out in any reading, not just mine. Typically, there's another. In any case, what the universe would have us, what energy the universe would have each of us, or both of us, to give to the union or connection, and even wants to help us with, but we have to first affirm, because we have free will, right? So the universe is not going to force itself upon us. And that is the Queen of Spring, Queen of Wands. She is talented, brilliant, independent, and charming. Also, a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, possibly even a Scorpio. Scorpio also ruled by Mars, the red planet, along with Aries. And the Queen of Spring or Wands, she is so strong and independent. Again, if it's connected to the sign of Leo, this is talking about the universe wanting to give us the strength to face any and everything that comes our way too. The strength to be able to not risk stealing our own joy. We have the confidence that we need if we're the Queen of Wands, right? The strength to face even where we've been hurt or we've hurt someone else, and how to, fix that. How to roll with the punches and take what's coming to us or whatever. Queen of Wands. But we have to be willing to do that. And if we are, the universe wants to help us with it. And I'm wondering if I should... Well, it doesn't matter because it's upside down. I was wondering if I'm tempted to pull another card for the Three of Winter for additional messages, like, further clarification. And when I pull clarifiers, like from these cards, I usually look for the next upright one. So I had stopped to say for a second, I wonder if I should do that first or pull the outcome card first. But the next card, which is going to be the outcome card, is in reverse, so it wouldn't be the one that I would normally use to clarify anyway. So I might as well just go ahead and pull it. And it is another three, and it's the Three of Spring. So the Three of Spring is super positive, and it's about things working out and our ability to count on them working out and to begin to make plans as if they already have worked out. So it's like very tied to manifestation. And it's saying, yes, everything's going to be fine, but maybe not tomorrow. But yes, it's still going to be fine. So plan for it to be fine and start to act like it's fine and do what you need to do to prepare yourself for when it's actually, here, when everything is actually how you want it, because it's coming. Stop to take time to review and to make long-term plans, capitalizing upon your past successes. It's appropriate to pat yourself on the back. Didn't I just use that expression a moment ago? I think I did for something else. Appropriate to pat yourself on the back for all of your accomplishments, but you may also need patience for the next phase to play out. All of this potentially tied to the Sagittarius energy and or Jupiter as well. And so we'll pull a clarifier for more messages. Let's see, for the Three of Winter, what else they may want to tell the masculine, or the masculine maybe wanting to give of himself toward the union or connection this week. And it is Major Arcana card for the Emperor. Structure and organization are important right now. Don't be afraid to take on a leadership role, as you have much wisdom to offer. Major Arcana card for the Emperor represents the planet Mars and the signs of Aries and Scorpio, again, which it rules. So I guess I was right about that when I was feeling the Mars and the Scorpio there. More importantly, this is about like the masculine taking his own life by the reins. Maybe he had been having or allowing other people to sort of lead him around. Or society to dictate how he lived his life, or different things like that. And this is saying, I'm going to take back control. I'm getting back in the driver's seat of my own life. I'm also going to get some things in order. I'm going to get my life in order, right? Get myself together. Structure and organization. That's what's important right now. Leadership role. I'm going to, I got this. I'll make the initiative. I'll handle everything. So nice to see that. And of course, the counterpart has been showing up in the other readings. So let's see if she'll show up again today. The Empress. Not only is she another 3, but she is the counter to the Emperor, of course. And she has shown up in the other readings. So the card that we didn't use that I put down because it was upside down was the 8 of Winter. Just so everybody sees. And so I'm glad that it wasn't this card that was the clarifier, because this is about further, like continued fear and being willing or being unwilling to take chances, right? Lacking confidence, lacking esteem, being afraid to move forward, making excuses for yourself or why you can't do something, feeling like you're stuck. So the Emperor is the total opposite of that. The Emperor is saying, no, I am, ready and mature and grown enough, and all I need to be, I'm enough, recovered enough to, take the lead here and fix this. So nice to see that. Let's, I'm just going to stick these in randomly. And now that I've done that, we'll do this again. So not only did they just go in, arbitrarily into wherever they ended up, but I'm still going to mix them up some more again too. Boom. Back to the 8 of Fire, the 8 of Wands, which is the card with which we started. Again, events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over and many things are happening at once. So, divine being or couple for our next spread. It is another 8. This one has also been showing up in every single reading. It's the perfect time to learn all you can by returning to school, taking a seminar, or conducting research. Do your best work. This is the real important line here on this card. Do your best work, and the law of attraction will bring you prosperity and career advancement. So that's really the point about it. Where we put our effort, where we do our work, especially our best foot forward, is from where we get the reward or the outcome. So you give it your all, you're going to get your all back. All part of the manifestation. So this is divine being or couple, represents us if we're single, if we're coupled, whatever the case is. Recent past. Major Arcana card 10, the wheel. Here comes Jupiter and the Sagittarius energy. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. You can now move forward and make great progress. So if you haven't already experienced the sudden positive change, although it's in the recent past position, it's for the week ahead. So it can be occurring for you later on in the week. Maybe again tomorrow, the 5th, when Sagittarius does enter a new major transit, which will in which it will be for like the next year and a half, probably. The wheel and the planet Jupiter also connected to the fixed sign. So any of these can be significant too. Again, Leo, which we were just talking about, or I was just feeling with the Queen of Wands. Aquarius, like the Queen of Swords that was here. Taurus, the Empress, if she shows up. And Scorpio. How could I have forgotten? Scorpio is the last one. Or, last but not least. Near future. Boom. Right, it just gets better. This is the beginning of a new emotional experience for you. It may be the first blush of romantic love, the rebirth of a current relationship, or the awakening of spiritual gifts and insights. And that's definitely happening to people too. So even if you remain single and you say, oh, it didn't work for me. No, like it didn't come true for me. Not necessarily, because ascension is part of it. Your spiritual growth and maturity and awakening of any gifts that you may have, or strengthening of any gifts that you may already have realized, is all part of not only your life, but your love life, especially if you're, considered a divine being or a twin flame, or you're looking for a soulmate. Masculine higher self. Boom. Okay, this is how it's all happening. This is the Scorpio energy. Major Arcana card 13, release or death, which most directly represents the sign of Scorpio. It's time to release the past and to move on to something new. This is what he's wanting to do. That's why in the last spread, it showed up that what he was wanting to do was to deal with the pain, because that's all part of the old stuff. This is the new stuff that he's looking forward to. So time to release the past. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. Blocks to individual or shared progress. 2 of Autumn. Something imbalance in our lives, very, very possibly, keeping us maybe from having gotten together already, keeping us from being social, or keeping us, or we've allowed it to keep us from like nurturing ourselves and even some of us have been like taking care of everyone and everything else in our lives or around our lives, just so much, so well that we've forgotten us. And so that can all be what the 2 of Autumn is about. 2 of Pentacles and why it's a block. You may be under stress because of multiple jobs or too many responsibilities for one person to manage. It's like, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, especially now with, what's been going on. Again, thankfully, some countries and states here in the U.S. have begun to move forward, but for some, there's still a lot to do. It's just not easy. And so it's kind of like being burdened. And that can definitely keep you away from taking care of yourself and nurturing yourself and finding the time to be social and certainly to be, working on relationships. It's important, however, to balance your work and your personal life and to bring a spirit of fun to all that you do. How can the feminine help herself, like despite this block? By allowing the difficult times to come to an end. And again, looking forward in advance of them being positive, right? Don't count on them to be positive. Like the outcome from the last spread, the 3 of Wands. Yeah, it might not be tomorrow that you realize and experience all of this positivity, but it is coming to you. So start to look forward to that. And that's what the 10 of Swords is all about too. It's the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Somebody may also be recovering from an addiction. And I've actually been picking that up a lot, especially like in my client readings and stuff. As a matter of fact, just last night when I was trying to get the love reading right, one of my clients had messaged me to tell me how much she enjoyed the general, and went on to mention that in her own personal reading, her masculine, I had picked up that he was a smoker and trying to cut it out. And I'm like, but I remember saying like, I don't even know if he's a smoker. She never told me that, but I was just like getting that. And, she commented like, yeah, actually he is a smoker. And so that was right on. Long story short, I've been picking up that people, and it might be because they can't get to the store. I think that's what I said in his reading. Like just because he can't get to like a newsstand to get the cigarettes or whatever, it's a habit that's being broken. That could be happening for a lot of people. But not only substances are to what we can be addicted, right? It's any kind of codependency, toxicity, yeah. And or, substance abuse is something. We could be addicted to people, food, and just, so many things. What the masculine to do to help himself And it is the 4 of air. So he's like progressed just from the last spread. The last spread, his card was the 3 of air of swords. And in this one, it's the 4 of air of swords. He's already moved forward, right? It's time to rest or take a vacation. This is about the recovery, about moving on from that pain like he wants to do. Allow more time before making a decision. If you have a decision to make, also meditation may provide answers. So this is also about the introspection too. And by the way, this is the 4 of swords is a repeat card. What the universe would have each or both of us do to help ourselves, and even wants to help us with, but we have to first affirm because we have free will, is moving on. I think this is the same exact card that showed up in this position yesterday, but I've deleted that reading. In any case, a desire to move on. The search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. So whether we're moving toward something that we've been wanting or moving away from something that hasn't been good for us or conducive to us, or both, or we're just looking again for that ascension and just something, I need something more meaningful, something higher, like bring me a higher love kind of energy. The universe wants to help us with that. It's another 8, by the way, if I didn't point that out. The 8 of Cups. And the outcome. Boom. It's another Emperor. Major Arcana card for the Emperor with Archangel Michael. Organization and logic, structure and discipline, and leadership. So us all, not just the masculine, but us all taking our lives like, the bull by the horns, as they say, life by the balls, taking the lead by the reins, and living it like how you want by your own choices. You are in charge. You are the boss, right? The Emperor can be about like an authority kind of energy. You are the authority in your own life. Other people can't tell you how to live it or judge you. They can attempt to, but they can't really, only if you let them. And this is you saying, I'm not going to let them. Further to that, I have been giving advice from each of these decks. So let's find one from the Angel Tarot. There's one. And there's one. And then from here, again with this like Isis and this like magician type of card, magic manifesting. And the Ascended Masters again with the mother, wife, sister, daughter. Further advice to the masculine. Not only is this a repeat card, it's totally what we've been talking about, especially the 2 of Pentacles. Balance, career, and home life, says Isis. And it's also Isis again. They don't look the same, but it's depictions of Isis. So more of the Gemini energy also. And her reminding us to, again, nurture ourselves. Remember, that was the block. Take care of ourselves. Like, don't forget you when you're planning. When you're doing all this doing that you're doing, don't forget to do something for you too. At least in terms of like making your own decisions and not letting anybody else push you around and make them for you. Ascended Master. Ooh, fertility and Pan. This is very Scorpio. And very Scorpio in Capricorn, no less. So the feminine could be a little feisty this week. If not, if it's not like physical, heightened sexual energy, which, it just very well can be, then it's about, similar to the Empress, which I've been talking about, like fertile energy for newness, for new abundance, for you to create, be a creator in your own life. From the Keepers of the Light Oracle to the masculine, hope, love, and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Choose loving thoughts. Maybe you need to reorganize it too. Right? To the masculine, it is Paul the Venetian, experiencing grace. The feminine. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. So that's the fertile energy maybe that with which you're being blessed. For the masculine, this too a repeat. Major Arcana card 0, the Dreamer, which is actually the Fool in the traditional tarot. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams. That leads to unexpected opportunities. This was indeed your advice in the last reading too. It's all about a brand new path that you're walking. So again, it goes very nicely with the newness, with this Ace of Cups. Fresh start. Something comes to a complete end or changes completely, never to be the same as it had been again. You know, for whatever that means, like good, bad, or indifferent. And so this is it's a completely fresh path, the Fool. Also, when the Fool showed up yesterday, I was made to share with people that so I guess I'm being made to do it again because I just remembered, I just reminded of it. When the Fool is in reverse, it can be saying to us that our independence and desire for like freedom and to do our own thing can be getting in the way of our relationships. Like maybe we're too independent, so we're not opening ourselves up. We're not being open to relying on another person or to sharing on another person. It's 50-50, right? The give and take. We're trying to do all 100 by ourselves. So be careful of that, masculine. Also, your need for freedom and independence sort of taking over and preventing you from having healthy relationships or being able to find a relationship, period. If you're single, it can mean a few things, and you just need to decide what is balance for you, because we all need and deserve freedom. So you don't want to give that up, but how much are you taking too many liberties and maybe not being fair with another person if you're trying to have a partnership, or fair with yourself because you're not giving yourself an opportunity to have a partnership or to meet somebody. So you got to balance that out. Like how much freedom and how much do I want to be tied to somebody else? And so that we can figure out a way to not be codependent upon another person, but not to overly be independent either, and instead to be interdependent. Okay? And coming together. On that note, that brings us to the end of the love reading. I hope you have enjoyed it. I will try to come back with a moon reading with some sound shortly. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, all the many things that you do for me and the channel. I do appreciate it. Please do so again. If you enjoyed the video, please actually hit the like button. If you're not yet a subscriber, please consider subscribing by hitting both the subscribe button and the bell button. And if you're already a subscriber but you haven't been getting your notifications, check it out. Make sure that you're still subscribed, because they remove people from the subscriber list, or they take off your notifications at random and stuff. A lot of people have been complaining about it. And many, many people for a couple of years now have not been getting all my messages and notifications. So, just make sure you're up to date. Thanks again. Namaste.